Hi, folks. So, this is for episode 4 of the Master Bathroom Remodel. Hello, folks. So, we're trying to work on the plumbing here. So, I've cut that drain for the shower, and I have the pieces to do that. I've also started to cut out the ceiling in the dining room below where we had water damage. Now, when these pipes were leaking, water was flowing down the joint here underneath this joist and made some bubbling underneath. And so there's discoloration. From this side, the drywall is actually in pretty, it seems pretty solid, but I'm going to go ahead and cut out 3 feet wide and 6 feet long where the damage is apparent underneath. And then just spackle and repaint just to make it look nice. The challenge is going to be where the crown molding underneath, they just stapled it up. You can see one little staple in there and another one over in here. So they stapled up through the crown molding up through the drywall, but of course it doesn't hit any wood because there's no wood here for it to land on. So I'm going to try and replace this wallboard without having to redo the crown molding, because that's a big pain in the butt. And the piece that runs from here all the way over is a single piece, and I don't want to have to cut that. So anyway, also working on this drain here. So we're going to be having, we're widening the vanity to a little over 6 feet. So one drain will come out this way, going through that stud right there, through these studs, to a sanitary tee, through this stud right here, and going as far this way as possible before coming out from the wall. I'll also be extending the wall out about 1 inch along here, so that, or 2 inches, I say, because these pressure lines, I don't want them coming through the floor. So we're going to extend the wall 2 inches behind the vanity and up a little bit, maybe up a little higher than the drains. And that kind of serves two purposes. I can have the pressure lines come up the wall and then out, and still have lots of insulation between the exterior wall and the interior wall. That'll give me about 5.5 inches interior space for insulation. And I can also strengthen up these studs here, which were cut by the previous contractor to install the drain. So I'm also going to install another full stud right here into this bay right here, flat along the rear wall, just to give a little bit more load bearing between the bottom plate and the top plate up there. So, and I'll only have to cut a little bit out of it to make way for that drain. It'll still be at least 1.25 inches thick. So adding a 2x4 in there just gives me peace of mind that since we're got holes through all these studs here that are load bearing, I'm adding a load bearing member and also adding some strength to these 2x4s where the holes are going through. I grant you that that's probably not the code, but this is what I was given, this cluster in here. So I'm just kind of making do and moving along. Eventually we'll be doing the plumbing for the tub, which will be in this vicinity here between the hammer and the wall, for the pressure lines, and then of course the drain here. I may or may not be needing to move the drain. I probably want to move the drain a little toward the wall farther, you know, a few inches, I don't know. But I also want to run pressure lines for the tub going out to this wall with a entry point or access door for the valves, so that we can actually turn off the water supply to the freestanding valve or faucet that fills the tub. So we're in the mode of ripping up subfloor to rerun plumbing and getting ready to do the plumbing. All right, folks, got the drain lines for the vanity finished up. So I made a little boo-boo right in here, made a little piece too short, so I had to add another coupling and a straight one, but other than that, and then I added this piece of 2x4 right here. It's at the thinnest part, it's a 1.25 inches against the wall, just to support some load there, and I screwed it sideways. And I sloped all of these pipes, so these are sloping down to the wall, sloping down to the junction there, and also sloping down to the wall and sloping down. So everything is going down, and then of course had to put that in there because I couldn't separate them. Now the drain for the shower, I've got that all in except for the actual drain. So I'm getting ready to measure the hole, where I'm going to drill a hole through the 5/8 plywood to put in place of where I'm standing. Fortunately, this stick right here going between this 2x4 and this 2x4 is right over the center of the pipe. So that was nice and fortunate. All right, I got my first piece of plywood cut here. That hole's pretty much right on where I want it. That's a good thing. I need to make it basically 1/4 inch bigger on each side. This corner here fits all right. I'm going to be putting backer blocks underneath any of the plywood and along from below, so that this plywood, all edges have something to rest on. And especially over here, where there is virtually nothing for this plywood to rest on from that corner until that opening right there where the pipe is, the vent is, and then a little bit over here, there's nothing for the plywood to rest on. And then because these aren't tongue and grooved, I'll put some backer blocks on here for these sets of plywood to attach to. I'm also considering 2x6, putting some 2x6 what do you call them? Anyway, pieces of wood that go between the joists to keep them nice and straight and give them some strength, bracing, blocking, whatever. And then, before I can secure this down, I need to clean out everything, put in the backer blocks, put in the blocking here, and put in insulation. And I think that's it. All right, folks, so I just remade my tripod here, and then just opened up this hole a little more to accept this drain fitting, and got the hole over where I want it. So now I'm going to do the final prep for getting ready to secure this down. All right, I'm at here at the panel, uh, number 19 here was labeled as jacuzzi. So I've pulled the wire out and I'm going to tie it together, and then upstairs I'll verify that the outlet that I want to cut is what this one's connected to by shorting these out. All right, so obviously showing 0 voltage. Better yet, let's show that there is a short, which would be this guy. So he is showing 0. All right, we're all cleaned up, ready for installation and then putting the plywood down. I did an extra step of adding some blocking that the wallboard can join up to, going across, going over the vent pipe and attaching to my blocking for the floor, and also attaching to the joist. And I've cleaned out all the areas above the crown molding so that I should be able to shove a piece of wallboard between the joist and the crown molding without removing the crown molding. But you notice what a silly job this is. You can see the green. That's actually the house wrap, and right on the other side of that is the fiber cement siding. So we really did a great job building this house. All right, finally done with this floor, with this part of the floor. So it's kind of nerve-wracking getting this down, but got 2-inch screws holding that thing down, and liquid nails. I ran some fire stop foam around the vent, partially to stop the mice, because they were using this. They were using this as their subway to get up to the roof. So next time I go to the death trap, I'll get some more sealant and pop it in that little corner there. That 1 can of sealant doesn't last very long. It's $16 for about a third of what you'd get out of a regular can of great stuff, but whatever. Anyway, waiting for some parts from some 3/4 inch T to 1/2 inch, so I can do this plumbing next and plumb the pressure lines for the freestanding faucet. That's next on the agenda. Thanks for watching.